You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 5.
Coming up, red tide continues to cause headaches for business owners. What the state is now doing to try and get them back on their feet.
Plus, we'll tell you what local students are doing to help stop erosion at the DeSoto National Memorial Park.
And the next phase of school security begins this morning in Manatee County. We'll have a preview. Good Morning Suncoast starts right now. Good morning, and so it begins Monday, 5 o'clock, August 20th. I'm Ray Collins.
Good morning. Happy Monday morning to you. I'm Stephanie Webb. Thanks for waking up with us this morning, as always. And now over to John Scalzi, who's also waking up with us this morning.
My second cup of coffee. No. We have some showers out in Gulf waters. Those showers are going to continue on through the morning hours, but have very little effect on us here on land, I don't think. It'll be later in the afternoon when once again we start to see showers and thunderstorms build with the sea breeze. Oh my goodness, did we have some lightning around yesterday in the evenings, especially in inland areas. That's where the storms built, and that'll be the same sort of scenario when we develop again today. The nearest showers are well offshore, and while you may see a pop or two of lightning, you're not going to see any rain from them. Temperatures across the region generally running in the 70s, upper 70s closer to the coast. Complete forecast in a minute.
All right, talk to you soon. Checking first alert traffic now. Some early buildup there on 14th Street West in the southbound lane after you get past Bayshore Gardens, sort of at 69th and Bay there on 14th Street West as you head south toward Whitfield. Otherwise, clear in Sarasota County's northern half. And then checking our final map to the south, we'll find out down there is not much to report at 5:01 on your Monday morning. So weeks after the start of red tide, the state is now offering financial grants to some business owners.
ABC 7's Erica Jackson has details on how this could actually help restaurants, shops, and other vendors who depend on those beach visitors.
The Anna Maria Oyster Bar in Bradenton Beach is surrounded by water, and dockside diners are seeing more dead fish outside than on their plates, though the owner says it's getting better.
Yes, there are dead fish, but it's not as prevalent as everybody thinks it is.
John Horn is seeing less visitors on the island, making it harder to drum up business. From Pinellas down to Collier County, restaurants and shops are facing the same issue, which is why Governor Rick Scott included assistance for businesses in his emergency order for red tide.
It's going to help a lot of people get through this period where it is slow.
Small businesses with less than 100 employees can apply for short-term interest-free bridge loans of up to $50,000, which new businesses like Bunny and Pirates Bar can use to get back on their feet.
It would give me the opportunity to hire some extra help and help get things a little bit more under control from a small business ownership.
The Childs Group has too many employees to qualify, but CEO Robert Ball says he will benefit from Visit Florida's $500,000 emergency grant program, offering marketing and advertising reimbursements to groups like Visit Sarasota once the red tide subsides.
Things will trickle down, and we have folks that are up in Boston or Chicago that have no idea what's going on.
Horn and his partners are still deciding whether they will apply for a bridge loan. For now, he plans on educating customers on social media about the weather conditions.
We want to do anything we can to keep our community thriving.
And that was Erica Jackson reporting. Now, businesses have until October to apply for those small business loans, and groups must complete their advertising spending by June of 2019 to be eligible for reimbursements.
Now, the latest red tide report from Mote Marine shows another tough weekend on the Suncoast. Here's a look at some of the dead fish on Longboat Key over the weekend. Mote Marine's report says a heavy amount were found at all tested Suncoast beaches, along with moderate respiratory irritation. Strong smells from red tide is the reason the pool and pavilion area remains closed at Lido Key Beach. The city closed it last week and will reevaluate sometime early this week. The concession stand is also closed there as well. For all of our latest coverage on red tide and your most frequently asked questions, head to our website, mysuncoast.com.
In Bradenton, a project is now underway to stop erosion at the DeSoto National Memorial Park. And for the second year in a row, volunteers placed 800 shell bags and planted 75 mangroves to help stabilize and create new shorelines. Now, the oysters will eventually settle, and then it will become an artificial reef.
There are a lot of historic areas in the park, and so we want to do stabilizations in front of those areas in order to stop some of the erosion, build up the vegetation on the shoreline, stabilize the sediment there, and kind of stop a lot of those historic areas from being washed out.
Now, this is the second year the project is in partnership with USF. Well, starting this morning, some Manatee County schools are receiving some extra protection from former law enforcement officers and military men and women.
It's all part of the School Guardian program. Today is the first day for many of these new security guards. Our Marla Spence has a preview for us now. Marla?
Guys, 18 guardians and 2 lead guardians will be in some Manatee County schools today, eager to protect students this new school year. Now, those guardians trained under the Manatee County Sheriff's Office went through intense training lasting nearly 150 hours. That training included firearms drills, active shooter instruction, and diversity training. Just last week, those guardians received certificates for finally completing their training, which started back in late July. We spoke to a guardian who retired in Manatee County after serving 24 years as a trooper at the Pennsylvania State Police Department. He says after the tragic shooting in Parkland High School in Broward County, he knew he had to step in and use his skills for a good cause.
I thought it would be a worthwhile cause. With my background and my experience, it's a perfect transition from law enforcement to a position that I can help the public. It's giving back to the community. It's also providing me the ability to use my skills. I'm still of sound mind and body and want to contribute, and I feel honored and privileged to partake in this experience.
After the Parkland shooting, the Florida legislator and Governor Rick Scott passed the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School Public Safety Act, requiring every school in the state to have an armed security officer in every school. The Manatee County School District interviewed nearly 100 applicants for 40 positions. The remaining guardians will start their own training later today. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you so much, Marla. Well, there was a special training day over the weekend for the Sarasota Canine Search and Rescue Team. The county allowed handlers, along with 18 of their trained dogs, to use Wakeland Elementary School in Bradenton for the day on Sunday. Now, the teams practiced all kinds of different scenarios, including a staged search and a rescue outside. Then inside, dogs were sent to look for traces of blood at a mock crime scene. Now, each task preparing the team in the event of a real-life emergency.
We practice so that if we're ever called by the community, either in a hurricane or tornado type situation, or even in a criminal case, that our handlers and our canines are prepared for this.
Now, not only does the training help the dogs, coordinators say it also helps build the team's communication skills, giving them a faster response time as well.
Still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast, President Trump lashing out again at Special Counsel Robert Mueller why he's now comparing the Russia investigation to McCarthyism.
And later in the hour, a manhunt is underway this morning in Tennessee for 2 suspects wanted in a double murder. We'll tell you why police believe they may also be responsible for a string of crimes there. But first,
here's a peek outside our window at 5:08 a.m. Pretty tropical shot there right now. So how will today's weather be, you ask? Well, here's the answer from John Scalzi.
Well, things look pretty good for us. It'll be very similar to yesterday, actually. A rain chance today of about 40%. That'll be mostly in the afternoon, mostly in inland areas. Haven't checked the rain box for your drive time forecast. I have not, because I don't think it's going to be affecting us during any of the drive time periods. For the most part, a few scattered inland storms later in the day, but that should be winding down by the time drive time begins. Complete forecast for you coming up in a few.
It's been about a month, and I can honestly say I've seen the change in me. I went from being a depressed girl who didn't want help to this happy, caring girl who loves helping other people. I just really hope that people that went through what I went through get the help that they need, because their story is important and they are loved. Thank you so much for everything.
Don't hide it. We know that sometimes emotions just get the better of you, especially at the Honda Summer Spectacular event. And we know getting a deal on the Honda Civic, a 2018 KBB.com Best Buy, can be quite liberating, especially when this stylish Honda Civic comes with Sport Mode.
Yes! Yes!
Express what you're feeling at the Honda Summer Spectacular event.
I'm happy you're happy.
Visit your local Honda dealer and test drive the Honda Civic today.
Find out first at 4 on the Suncoast with ABC 7 News at 4. ABC 7 News at 4 starts with a detailed look at your first alert weather forecast to help you plan and prepare. We give you a fresh, fast-paced rundown of the day's top stories and videos, including breaking news, live updates, and traffic hotspots, all at a new, more convenient time. Find out first at 4. Weekdays on ABC 7.
When it comes to drinking, what do you think moderation is? The U.S. Dietary Guidelines define moderation as up to 1 drink a day for women and up to 2 drinks a day for men. So what's a drink? The guidelines say a drink equals 12 ounces of beer, 5 ounces of wine, or a cocktail with 1.5 ounces of distilled spirits. Each contains the same amount of alcohol. Like to learn more? Visit drinkinmoderation.org.
Here's something we bet you didn't know. Nearly half of all cancers can be prevented. That's right, half. Nearly 50%, mostly by making small everyday changes in your diet and controlling your weight, walking more, eating less, and eating foods that help you and your family to seriously reduce the risk of cancer. And of course, by not smoking. Visit the Cancer Prevention Together We Can website and get a free 30-day planner filled with tips, recipes, stats, and more about protecting your family. Go to prevent50.org.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
74-degree air temperature. We have a lot of starry sky out there right now. East wind blows lightly at about 3. It'll be somewhat light and variable throughout the day today, but it'll allow the sea breeze to build and move a good distance inland because it isn't going to be all that strong, the east wind. Dew-point value comes in at 73, so pretty close to the air temperature, giving us a high relative humidity out there. As we progress through the day, we'll start to watch our rain chances increase. By 12 noon, I think along the coastline, there'll be a few showers around possibly. But it's really by afternoon, later in the afternoon, 3, 4, 5, 6 o'clock, that we'll have the best chance of rainfall, and that will be mostly in inland areas, well inland areas. And then by 7 p.m., we'll start to wind down those rain chances as the heating of the day begins to slip away. A few scattered showers out in the Gulf this morning. We had some big storms booming through the spine of the state yesterday. They really exploded. Those showers and thunderstorms are probably going to be in about the same locations later on this afternoon. That is well east of the interstate, extreme eastern sections of Sarasota and Manatee counties, particularly Hardee and DeSoto counties, seeing those storms build. High pressure anchored out in the Atlantic is again our main weather driver for the next couple of days anyway, bringing us this easterly wind flow or southeasterly wind flow. That again collides with our sea breeze front, and then the sea breeze, because the east wind is fairly light, gets to push a good distance inland so that those showers and thunderstorms build mostly along the spine of the state. And mostly, I think the heaviest of the rain will be down to the south. That's where the moisture is thickest and deepest. Now, as we head into the second half of this work week, we're going to see a little bit of a shift. Instead of the winds coming in out of the east, the winds will come in out of the west. And what will happen will be that as that sea breeze begins to develop in the afternoon, that west wind will help to push it toward the other coast, which is where the heaviest of the rain will be falling as we head into Thursday, Friday, and especially over the weekend. So, east wind through the next couple of days, midweek wind shift, winds will be coming out of the west, and then all calm in the tropics. So things look really quiet for this time of year in the tropics. Not much actually going on there. Rainfall futurecast shows total accumulations are going to be heaviest in the inland sections where the rain will be falling this afternoon. For today, southeast wind at about 10 knots throughout the day. Light chop with about 2-foot seas. Forecast looks like this. We're looking at daytime high tops out at about 90 degrees. Same thing again tomorrow. A 20% chance of showers today. A momentary downward trend in the amount of rainfall we get tomorrow as a little bit of drier air works its way in. Doesn't last long, though. Rain chances start to go back up as we head into Wednesday, Thursday, and particularly Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Rain chance at about 50%, and that will be mostly in inland areas. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you so much, John. Let's take a look at your morning commute. So far, not too bad in Manatee County. We are watching that spot right there on 301 heading northbound right before State Road 70. Just a couple delays in that area, but nothing too big at this hour. And then in the top half of Sarasota County, those roads are not looking bad there either. No real delays there. And if your commute is going to take you south, 75 and 41 are running pretty good so far this morning. 5:15, that is your first alert traffic. And new developments out of Washington. Just how much has the president's White House counsel cooperated with the Russia probe?
ABC's Arlette Saenz has the latest from Washington.
President Trump back at the White House, brushing off questions about the White House counsel's role in the Russia investigation.
Mr. President, do you still trust Don McGahn?
This comes after a New York Times report confirmed by ABC News that White House counsel Don McGahn cooperated extensively with the special counsel. The president tweeted, "The failing New York Times wrote a fake piece implying that because White House counsel Don McGahn was giving hours of testimony to the special counsel, he must be a John Dean-type rat. But I allowed him and all others to testify. I didn't have to. I have nothing to hide." John Dean, Nixon's White House counsel, who became a key witness in the Watergate scandal, with a tweet of his own. "I doubt you have any idea what McGahn has told Mueller. Also, Nixon knew I was meeting with prosecutors because I told him. However, he didn't think I would tell them the truth." At the same time,
I'm not going to be rushed into having him testify so that he gets trapped into perjury.
The president's lead attorney on NBC offered a new explanation for why he's advising the president against an interview with Robert Mueller.
And when you tell me that, he should testify because he's going to tell the truth and he shouldn't worry, well, that's so silly because it's somebody's version of the truth, not the truth. He didn't have a conversation
Truth is
about...
truth. I don't mean to go like...
No, it isn't truth. Truth isn't truth.
Sources tell ABC News that among the topics Robert Mueller wanted to speak with Don McGahn about were the circumstances surrounding the firing of FBI Director James Comey. Arlette Saenz, ABC News, Washington.
New this morning, criminal charges against former Trump lawyer Michael Cohen could be announced by the end of this month. The New York Times says investigators are looking at charges of bank and tax fraud, specifically about $20 million in loans obtained for Cohen and his family's taxi companies. Now, Cohen has expressed a willingness to cooperate with the investigation. It's not yet clear if prosecutors are interested in a deal with him or just the information that he may have to offer.
In consumer news, it's going to be a busy week for the staff at Chipotle nationwide. The restaurant chain says it will start retraining the entire staff on food safety and wellness protocols. That's about 70,000 workers, more than 2,400 locations. This after about 650 customers got sick at Chipotle in Ohio last month. The state's public health department later determined food was being left at an unsafe temperature. All of its restaurants will remain open during this week's retraining. Mexican chemical engineers are developing a way to make plastic out of avocado seeds. That's resourceful. The company Biophase manufactures straws, spoons, forks, and knives, all out of biodegradable plastic from the seeds. The company says in Mexico alone, a total of 300,000 tons of avocado seeds are wasted each year.
Wow, who would have thought that? Like, who put all of that together? That's fascinating.
Brilliant way to do it, yeah. 5:18 right now.
Still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast. Say it isn't so. Why Netflix may be testing the use of ads in between episodes of the shows.
That will change everything.
Can't handle it in my binge watching.
Also next half hour at 5:30, why a pilot was forced to make an emergency landing on a stretch of Florida's busiest highways. Well, that story first. Here's a peek at your White House. 5:19, dark out there. Are the kitchen lights on?
Someone did not pay the power bill. I'm going to go with that.
That's the kitchen. That's
just that one light on, folks. Just one.
Top right window is on, though. Barron's hungry, I guess.
It must be.
We'll have more Good Morning Suncoast after this.
If you're looking for the perfect trip that allows you to spend quality time with the family, then discover the great outdoors on an Alabama Black Belt adventure. Create unforgettable memories while hunting, canoeing, camping, and more. Or challenge yourself on Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, now celebrating 25 years. And while you're here, enjoy a Deep South dining experience. Book your adventure in one of our members' lodges or stay at the Renaissance Montgomery Hotel and Spa. Start planning an Alabama Black Belt adventure today.
We've been fighting the war on drugs for a long time. We answer the phone 24/7, 365 days a year. On a busy night, we answer hundreds of calls. This war on drugs needs our intervention.
Since 2014, Addiction Hope and Helpline has helped people struggling with drugs and alcohol.
When the phone rings, we help people when they need it the most. When we get a caller into treatment, it feels right. It feels good. It's a blessing.
If you're struggling, drinking, using, and need to get clean, don't suffer alone in silence. Call Addiction Hope and Helpline.
Our people understand, and many are also in recovery. Call for support and strength. You can call for someone who can't or isn't willing. It's an act of love. Together we can help you beat this thing and erase addiction from your vocabulary once and for all.
Call 800-871-1644. 800-871-1644.
I witnessed him have 2 heart attacks in ICU. He went through seizures.
We'd much rather have Aaron like this than dead. A lot of parents don't have that luxury.
He can't talk. He can't walk. This is a condition Aaron will live with for the rest of his life because he abused prescription pills.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
Stay connected to your clients and new customers using ABC7 Digital Media Services. Our team of professionals provide a wide array of digital services to help you get the most out of your website. We specialize in building and helping you maintain the most effective digital solutions for your business. It's vital that your online presence stands out, so our experts will equip you with the best resources available. Trust ABC7 Digital Media Services to give you the right tools to grow your business.
A promise was made, a promise that hit the beaches of Normandy, a vow that captured Iwo Jima, a contract that weathered Tet, a pledge that stormed the desert in Iraq, an IOU that braved IEDs in Kandahar. A promise was made to America's veterans. DAV fights to keep that promise, so all veterans and their families get the benefits and support they earned. For help, visit DAV.org.
Well, we'd love to hear from you. Here's how you can contact us individually. We've got our respective websites. I had a chance to post some pictures of what I did yesterday morning. And I'm sure you can guess.
It doesn't involve sleeping.
No.
Oh, it involves croquet? Mud wrestling.
Correct.
Okay, good.
You have to check.
I'm just trying to tease your Facebook page.
That's good. Nice work.
All right, you're welcome.
There's a method to your madness. So there's that. Check those out when you get a chance.
That's right. All right, well, from mud wrestling to a mud pit. Check this out. Polly, want a little airtime? A man buried up to his waist in mud was rescued in Illinois, all with his pet parrot on his shoulder. Look at this. The guy, he actually got stuck in there after wading out into this muddy lake to save the bird in the first place, but then he ended up needing some saving of his own. He got stuck. But while crews worked to get him out of that situation, the parrot remained right there, perched on his shoulder the whole time. They eventually got them both out. Both man and devoted parrot are doing just fine this morning.
A theme for a joke of some sort, I think.
There is. There's something in there. My mind's just not quick enough this morning yet.
It's being called the Miracle on the Mound. Sister Mary Jo got the chance to throw out the first pitch at the White Sox game. She's cocky.
Wow.
Bounced the ball off her. Look at that.
Look at that. Oh,
they want to sign her. She's got a background in softball. Perfect pitch right down the middle. Sister Mary Jo used to coach, in fact, at a local Catholic school there. And she had a chance to throw out the first pitch. She didn't have to think twice. 60 on her back is how fast she says her fastball is. Not her age.
Amazing?
Yeah.
I love this story so much. That was a good one. Well, Netflix is facing some backlash this morning after confirming they're testing the use of ads in between our episodes.
That'll change everything.
Everything. It's going to slow me down a little bit.
You have to get other hobbies in your life. The story in today's Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, Netflix customers concerned about commercials interrupting their shows should not worry.
That's what Netflix is saying after some viewers complained about promotions popping up between some shows. Netflix says it's only testing the ads and they're only for Netflix programs and not for commercial content. Well, Amazon has quietly stopped selling one of its Kindles.
The Kindle Voyage is no longer available on the internet retailer site. The Voyage was released 4 years ago. It was lighter, thinner, less expensive than the basic Kindle, which is still available. And are you ready for some Friday Night Lights on Twitter.
Adidas is partnering with Twitter to live stream high school games. They'll start this fall. They'll include teams from California, Georgia, Florida, Nevada, Indiana, and the games start on September 7th.
Twitter, of course, already broadcasting some NFL games.
Yes.
Those are your Tech Bites.
Have a great day.
Tech Bites, sponsored by Sherwin-Williams Paint.
Since my stroke, he hasn't left my side.
With the right steps, 80% of recurrent ischemic strokes could be prevented. A Bayer aspirin regimen is one step to help prevent another stroke.
So I'm doing all I can to stay in his life.
Be sure to talk to your doctor before you begin an aspirin regimen.
Living healthy is a balancing act. That's why I love Light and Fit Greek non-fat yogurt. Each delicious cup contains 12 grams of protein and 80 calories. It's nutrition that fits my healthy life. Light and Fit, do what fits you.
We're losing exotic animals on a daily basis, and the ones that we have in captivity are really the ambassadors for their wild counterparts. I'm Clayton Rozier from the Big Cat Habitat and Gulf Coast Sanctuary, housing over 150 exotic animals that needed a great home. And if you love animals, please help them. Do it locally. Support your local no-kill shelters, your local wild animal sanctuaries. Make a difference where you can.
Coast Guard, we are taking on water.
The United States Coast Guard. They secure our ports and waterways, protect our environment, keep drugs away from our kids, and save lives. It's dangerous work. And in times of triumph or tragedy, the Coast Guard Foundation answers the call to support Coast Guard members and their families. Learn more at coastguardfoundation.org.
Are you a soccer mom or dad? Regardless of their age or experience level, when your kids play soccer or any other sport, there's one person on the sideline who is key to help recognize and seek medical care for sports-related concussion. It's you. You need to know the signs and symptoms of concussion, and you need to act if you think your child has been injured. Remember, when in doubt, sit them out. To learn more, go to cdc.gov/concussion. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004.
I took my first handful of pills, and that's when all my priorities seemed to change.
He would ask to use the bathroom in other people's homes.
He just assumed that they would have medication.
He'd go in their medicine cabinets and steal prescription drugs.
I wish I knew really what these prescription pills were.
We were so naive about the whole drug thing.
These are all synthetic forms of heroin.
Keep your medication locked up because you'll never notice that a pill is gone.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
Tonight on ABC 7 News at 7.
Governors, they make that easy transition right into being president. They get the CEO type of experience. People prefer governors over U.S. senators. They build major platforms, and especially here in the state of Florida.
The field of candidates will be down to 2 in just over a week. What can we expect? I'm Jacqueline Matter. We'll discuss at the Trapezoid.
Tonight on ABC 7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
My name is Haley. I have Fragile X syndrome. I work with Chartwells at Einstein's and FAU. I like being up front and interacting with students. The students are very nice and very hungry. Having a job is a big ticket for independence.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes? B, console her?
Don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
Or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice, single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 5:30.
This morning, a manhunt in Nashville for suspects in a double murder, plus a string of violent crimes there.
Plus, dramatic video from Montana, how a father and son escaped a massive wildfire around them.
And what the city of Sarasota is doing to beef up security at the popular farmers market. We have those stories, plus your Monday forecast. It all starts right now on Good Morning Suncoast. And good morning to you. It is 5:30 on this Monday morning. I'm Stephanie Webb.
And I'm Ray Collins. To check the forecast for this first day of the week, here he is, folks, John Scalzi.
Good morning, you guys. We're looking at a pretty quiet, kind of benign weather pattern for us for the next several days. It looks like a general easterly wind flow with a high pressure ridge kind of anchored right over us brings us light, somewhat variable winds. It allows for a sea breeze to develop in the afternoon, which will take some of these showers that are out in the Gulf waters and cause them to build in inland areas probably around 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Similar to what we saw yesterday, most of the heavy weather will be in inland areas, while along the coast, we remain quiet through drive time this morning. Complete forecast coming up in a few.
All right, talk to you again soon, John. It is 5:31 right now. Now we're going to check some traffic for you. This is a live picture of the 75-275 interchange, where there is construction going on the northbound 75 ramp. It'll remain closed for about the next 10 months. So just to set the scene, when you're getting off the Sunshine Skyway, and if you wanted to head north on 75, that's where you can't do it right now. So we'll follow that as it continues. There's the situation now. Northbound 75 at State Road 70, an accident already this morning. No congestion caused so far, but just be aware of that in case you're heading north there. Farther south, nothing to report so far in the northern half of Sarasota County. And then South County, all clear at 5:31 on your Monday morning.
Developing overnight in Nashville, Tennessee, a manhunt is underway for 2 suspects wanted in a double murder. But that's not all. Authorities say the pair may also be connected to a string of recent shootings there. Now, police released this image of a dark Chevy sedan. They say 2 men inside ambushed a group of friends outside a Nashville bar demanding money before gunning down 2 other men. Now, those shootings add to others that took place all within a 10-mile radius. On August 8th, a woman out walking her dogs was shot in the back and paralyzed during a robbery. Then on August the 14th, another woman was robbed and shot to death while waiting for the bus to work. Now, those suspects are still at large this morning as police warn those living nearby not to go out alone.
Father and son escaped a raging wildfire in Montana, and the whole thing was caught on videotape. Let's watch this.
Dad, the car is heating up. It's going to explode.
That panicked voice you hear belongs to Justin Bilton. He and his 70-year-old father were camping in Glacier National Park, and they were caught in the middle of a raging wildfire. Racing to escape back to the main campsite in their car with a blaze all around them, the two came across a burning tree, which forced them to throw the car in reverse. But what they didn't realize is that decision likely saved their lives.
When I put the car in reverse and looked out the back window, I couldn't see anything. I didn't have the headlights anymore, and somehow I was able to stay on the road.
A ranger on a boat rescued the pair. They are now safe back home with an amazing story to tell.
Well, now to new developments in the investigation into allegations of sexual abuse against more than 300 Catholic priests in Pennsylvania. The Bishop of Pittsburgh's Roman Catholic Diocese is going on this week over the weekend to respond to that 900-page grand jury report, saying he followed every step needed for responsible action after those allegations of child sexual abuse.
We've listened to them carefully. Second of all, we've removed priests from ministry. Third of all, we have in fact turned it over to the district attorneys of the appropriate counties.
Now, despite those claims, the report lists several cases that he mishandled, first as a priest and then later as a bishop. 2 years in the making, that report found that more than 1,000 children were abused by 300 Catholic priests in 6 different Pennsylvania dioceses over the past 70 years. Now, of those priests accused, ABC 7 has learned that at least one worked here in Sarasota, while another moved here after retirement.
Happening in Florida, an emergency landing by a small plane on I-75 between Naples and Fort Lauderdale. A state trooper found this plane parked on the side of the highway. Both the pilot and the student passenger were uninjured, and fortunately no cars on the road were impacted. The flight experienced mechanical problems after takeoff from Punta Gorda. It was heading to South Florida's Opa-locka Executive Airport.
Well, with early voting now open in both Sarasota and Manatee counties for that primary election on August the 28th, an event called Souls to the Polls is making a push for higher local voter turnout. Now, the focus is especially on the African-American community, as Newtown has an early voting location this month for the first time in years. The event also honored two people with the first ever Dr. Ed James Civil Rights Award, which was presented by his son.
Today we gave away the first annual Dr. Ed James Civil Rights Award, which was really cool because today is actually my dad's birthday. And so we awarded Dr. Lawrence Miller and Hugh Culverhouse, two pillars in our community who've been fighting for justice for a very long time.
Now, the Dr. Ed James Civil Rights Award recognizes people who have fought for justice and hold others accountable within the local community. Well, increased security has been top of mind for many these days, and it is no different here on Suncoast.
And as our Jacqueline Matter tells us, the Sarasota Farmers Market is now making some changes.
We feel very safe right now, but you know, it all takes is one deranged individual.
Security in public places is on everyone's minds, which is why the Sarasota Farmers Market is looking to add new safety measures.
We get 500,000 people a year that attend the market just on Saturday mornings, 52 weeks a year, 500,000 people. So, you know, we like to keep them safe.
Executive Director Phil Pagano says the new initiative aims to enhance pedestrian safety in downtown Sarasota. He recently presented a proposal to the Downtown Improvement District requesting money for additional barricades to be placed at the Main and Lemon and First Street and Lemon intersections, the market's busiest area.
For years, there was never crossing guards at this market. Now we have 4 during season, because at Main and Lemon, you know, folks will just wander around like, you know, they won't obey.
The request is for 16 Jersey-style barricades like these that can each be filled with 1,600 pounds of water. The placement of these barricades would protect visitors to the market from an attack similar to ones like we've seen recently across the world.
You know, if something happened yesterday, they'll be here today wondering, you know, how secure that we are. So we're always listening to the customers.
Those who come regularly say they're on board with the additional security.
We're really excited to hear about the initiatives they're taking on making it more safe.
With what's going on in the country today, you never know where, you know, when things are going to change.
As for cost, the Farmers Market is a nonprofit and hopes a grant will help fund their project. All this to ensure your weekend morning stroll through the streets of downtown Sarasota is as safe as it can be.
I think wherever you go, people want to feel secure where you go, whether it's a mall or whether it's a park or anywhere. So we try to keep up with, you know, the best security we can.
In Sarasota, Jacqueline Matter, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
A sign of the times, I guess.
It is. Everybody wanting more safety and security.
Even at the farmers market now.
That's right.
Speaking of which, still ahead, the next phase of school security begins this morning in Manatee County. We'll have a preview of that for you.
And if you have serious allergies, it can literally save your life. But now there's a growing concern of the shortage of EpiPens. We're going to tell you what's being done to get more on the market. But first,
it is 5:38 right now. Here's a shot outside our studio at the skyline around the Rosemary District and looking south toward downtown Sarasota and the Bayfront. As far as today's weather forecast, here's John Scalzi.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. If you look out into the Gulf, you may see a flash or two of lightning, but that's where all the rain showers will stay. This morning, bus stop forecast calls for 77 in quiet conditions, mostly dry skies. And then after school, most of the thunderstorm activity will be located well inland. I'd say about a 10 out of 10 chance of an outside recess today. Complete forecast in a minute.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
The day you lose your strength is the day you lose your independence. Muscle is lost with age, affecting your energy, balance, and mobility. Before you know it, you're depending on others just to get through the day. But you can reverse and prevent muscle loss. Introducing MyoHealth, a revolutionary proven approach to increased muscle strength and function in as little as 30 days. Live life on your terms with more energy and confidence.
After a serious health issue put me down, MyoHealth's getting me back up again.
I'm doing activities that I haven't done for a long time. It really works.
MyoHealth is a safe, natural dietary supplement, the result of decades of research and 24 human clinical studies. You can live stronger at any age with greater strength, mobility, balance, and energy. Call or go online now and take the MyoHealth 30-Day Strength Challenge.
Me, pick me. Oh, come on, man. Oh man, I love technology. Hey, yo, check out my new phone. Look at this right here. For years, the DeSoto Club has needed improvements. Join me and Boys and Girls Club of Manatee County as we raise money to build a brand new facility. It will be bigger and better, just like it was 40 years ago when I attended. Invest in kids, build great futures.
Who else has been taking your prescriptions? Keep your medicine and your family safe and secure. Mind Your Meds. To learn how we can help, visit the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids at drugfree.org.
I am the resident district manager on the FAU campus for Chartwell. Whenever I see Haley, I do not see a person with a disability. I see a person with extraordinary abilities. Haley is always smiling. She's always on time. She gives fantastic customer service and is always focused on any job that she's given.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
So we're looking at a temperature that's coming in at about 74 degrees with a dew-point value that's pretty close to it at 73. So with those two temperatures close together, you get a high relative humidity. And that's what you're feeling outside right now, 97% relative humidity. Fairly clear skies, got a little bit of blow-off cloud cover from showers out in the Gulf, but most of that cloud cover is staying out in the Gulf. So we'll start off the day with a fair amount of sunshine, boosting our temperatures pretty rapidly. By 7 a.m., we're at 76 degrees, 88 by 12 noon. And we'll hit 90 again today with feels like temperatures pretty close to the 100-degree mark, 103, somewhere up in there. We'll have a little chance of rainfall during the morning hours, but by afternoon, about a 40% chance, mostly in inland areas, those showers drifting farther away from our coastline. So the showers that you see out in the Gulf right now, they're going to stay there through drive time this morning. Bus stops should stay dry. Everything looks pretty good for the start of the day. It also looks pretty good for afternoon showers and thunderstorms, similar to what we saw yesterday. Some pretty big storms around. I think the majority of the storms today will probably be in the southern tip of the state. That's where the moisture is highest. That's where there's a little upper level disturbance that helped kick off some of these showers. The nearest showers well offshore, about 30 miles or so offshore, and continuing to drift slowly off to the north and to the west. With high pressure anchored out in the Atlantic, our winds out of the southeast continue for another couple of days. And with that kind of flow regime, what we are going to see are those showers that develop during the morning out in Gulf waters and stay there, followed by daytime heating, a good amount of daytime heating, getting us pretty quickly up to the temperature where a sea breeze will start to form. And then where those two winds collide, we see the showers and thunderstorms form in inland areas. And generally, the winds are going to be light enough today that we'll see that sea breeze penetrate a good distance inland, keeping most of those showers toward the center of the state. Now, the further north you head, the more southerly this east wind becomes. It becomes more southeasterly, so there's a possibility that you could see some showers a little closer to the coast up around the Big Bend region today. But for our area, most all of it will be in inland locations. So the east wind brings afternoon storms. We'll have a midweek wind shift where the east wind becomes a more westerly wind. That might also take some of the red tide and push it a little further inland in terms of the smell in the air. And calm in the tropics right straight through the remainder of the week. Very eerily quiet out in the tropics. Rainfall will be greatest in inland areas a little bit later on this afternoon, where you'll have rainfall amounts, pockets of it anyway, in excess of an inch under some of the thunderstorms. Southeast wind at about 10 knots, 2-foot seas, light chop. Looks pretty nice out there on the waters today. We'll go with the daytime high of about 40% chance of rain. Slightly drier air filters in tomorrow, reducing rain chances a little bit to about 20%. Moisture returns pretty quickly, though, and stays with us for the remainder of the week, I think, with a 30 to 40% chance of showers, increasing to 50% as we head into the weekend. Most of the showers over the weekend will be in well inland locations, with that westerly wind having developed. Back to you.
All right, thank you, John. Let's take a look outside and check out your first alert traffic. Starting off in Manatee County, we do have one accident to tell you about right there. It's on I-75 in the northbound lane. There's an accident that is impacting exit 217 in that area in the northbound lane. Then in Sarasota County, the top half, those roads are not looking too bad so far this morning. Not too many delays out there. And if you're headed south, 75 and 41 are both running pretty good so far at 5:45. That is your first alert traffic. Well, starting this morning, some Manatee County schools are receiving some extra protection from both former law enforcement officers and military veterans.
It's all part of the School Guardian program. Today is the first day for many schools in Manatee County. Our Marla Spence has a preview for us now. Marla?
Hey guys, 18 guardians and 2 lead guardians will be in some Manatee County schools today, eager to protect students this new school year. Now, those guardians trained under the Manatee County Sheriff's Office went through intense training lasting nearly 150 hours. That training included firearms drills, active shooter instructions, and diversity training. Now, at least one guardian will be in 32 traditional elementary schools in Manatee County schools, and schools that don't have guardians this morning will have off-duty police officers, also known as student resource officers. Now, just last week, guardians received certificates for finally completing their training, which started back in late July. We spoke to a guardian who retired in Manatee County after serving 24 years as a trooper at the Pennsylvania State Police Department. He says after the tragic shooting in Parkland High School in Broward County, he said he knew he had to step in and use his skills for a good cause. He says he is honored to be a part of the Guardian program.
Personally, you're entrusted with our greatest resource, children, in their future, and the safety and security for their parents in the community. I feel honored and privileged, and I feel it's a challenge to me to rise up and be able to meet this demand. To provide the public and reassure them that, yes, when your child is left off that bus, they're going to be safe and secure, and all the employees in that school are going to be safe and secure.
And after the Parkland shooting, the Florida legislator and Governor Rick Scott passed the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School Public Safety Act, requiring every school in the state to have an armed officer in every school. The Manatee County School District interviewed nearly 100 applicants for 40 positions. The remaining 20 guardians will start their very own training later today. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you so much, Marla. Well, in this hour's Health Smart, there is a growing concern over the shortage of EpiPens.
And for many parents of school-age kids, that causes some big concerns. ABC's Janae Norman has our story.
They're used to give potentially life-saving injections for dangerous allergic reactions. But tonight, nationwide EpiPen shortages are leaving parents on edge just as students head back to school.
I went to the pharmacy, as I always do whenever I need an EpiPen, and they said, we have no EpiPens.
Rachel Hamasaki's kindergartner has a severe nut allergy. She says she called 34 pharmacies near Denver searching for the critical medicine before finding one 40 minutes away.
You have to have it if you have a severe allergy.
This mom near Dallas didn't have much luck either.
I started calling and calling and calling, and it didn't matter who I called, Walgreens, CVS, Tom Thumb, Albertson, nobody had it.
EpiPens help treat allergic reactions to things like insect stings, medications, and food. The end of the summer is often a peak season for refills, but according to the FDA, shortages began in May. In a statement, Mylan, the company that sells EpiPens, says they continue to experience interruptions and supplies vary from pharmacy to pharmacy, but that they're actively exploring several options that would help stabilize the supply. After calling several pharmacies, Megan Brunson finally found one for her 11-year-old son and offers this warning.
Be on the hunt. It's going to take some time.
Well, some good news. Just last week, the FDA approved the first generic EpiPen, which is very good news for availability and also good for price, as an EpiPen typically costs between $300 to $600 without insurance. Well, be sure to check your mailboxes. New Medicare cards are coming soon for Floridians. The new cards are free and will automatically be mailed. You should expect to receive them by the end of September. They will not have your Social Security number on them anymore. The cards also have some new features to help beneficiaries detect and avoid any identity thefts and scams. Also know that true Medicare representatives will never call you and ask for any personal information, including your Social Security number or any bank information.
Entertainment news now is a big weekend at the box office for Warner Brothers. They produced the nation's top 2 films, including the film Crazy Rich Asians that made $25 million, the highest opening weekend of the year for a romantic comedy. Warner Brothers also produced the number 2 spot. The Meg, it's called. The Meg.
It's a megalodon, a giant prehistoric shark.
Is that what it stands for?
Yeah.
Thank you. The Meg. I thought it was a girl that worked here.
No.
The shark movie pulled in just over $21 million, and rounding out the top 3, Mile 22.
Marky Mark.
$13 million. Meantime, a bad start for the latest film by Kevin Spacey. Billionaire Boys Club didn't make $1 billion. They debuted On Demand.
Yeah.
Co-stars Kevin Spacey, who, as you know, has been under investigation for sexual misconduct. And sure enough, the audience stayed away. The film earned $287.
Not 287,000.
No.
287 million.
And 14 cents.
Okay. 287.
287, the worst debut of Spacey's career. So people are listening closely to those accusations, apparently.
Yeah. All right, well, check this out, Ray. If you're scared of heights, you might want to close your eyes here for a second. A new glass-bottom suspension bridge just opened in northeast China. Now, it's almost the length of 4 football fields. Oh, and look down. And about 170 yards high. Now, more than 10,000 people showed up to take those stomach-churning steps across this thick glass. Seriously, vertigo must be a national sport here because China has dozens of these see-through walkways.
Yeah.
No way. I like my heights in the form of roller coasters, but I don't think I could walk across the bridge.
No, I couldn't either. Look at the kid walking like it's no big deal.
He's like, yeah, it's fine.
I'd be gripping that railing like a little sissy.
There's a picture for you. So imagine that right now.
That's not.
Still ahead, your Suncoast headlines.
Yeah, let's get a live shot now and change the subject. This is New York City, a little standard shot we show of the Empire State Building there, off looking south toward Manhattan. We'll update the day's top news headlines and have one last talk with John Scalzi after this.
My name is Stephen Jaffe. The law firm's name is Farmer Jaffe. One of the beautiful things about Julius is he's always smiling, and it becomes infectious. The fact that Julius has a disability has absolutely nothing to do with the quality of work that he's done. Just a great person you want on your staff.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Thank you.
You got a king?
Go fish!
It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Ever since I can remember, I've been intrigued by industrial design and the optimization.
Wait, that's passion? Ever since I can remember, my passion has been industrial design. We need 3D printers for Miss Adams' engineering program so that we are ready to solve 21st century challenges.
Impressive. Think It Up is a new initiative to support student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classroom today? Think It Up.
Everything all right?
Actually, you know how Tom had knee surgery? Sure. We found out Brad's been taking his painkillers. And it turns out he's been doing it for a while.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
Hi, I'm Janelle Hale, founder and CEO of the National Breast Cancer Foundation. No one should face breast cancer alone. When I was diagnosed 36 years ago, there was no internet, and I had to make a decision with little information. Early detection saved my life. It could save yours too. To learn what every woman needs to know about breast cancer, visit nbcf.org/hope.
Cancer doesn't run in my family. That really was the farthest thing from my mind. I've been an athlete my whole life and I work in sports, so my mindset was just, let's fight. So our stories are all unique, so whatever you're going through, ask questions, get information and be involved. Don't ignore the signs, join the fight. I'm Tony Beasley and I'm a stage 2 colorectal cancer survivor.
And here's a look at your morning headlines that we've been following.
Moat Marine says all their testing points over the weekend showed a heavy amount of red tide with moderate respiratory irritation. The Lido Key Pool and Concession Stand is still closed.
In Bradenton, projects are now underway to stop erosion at the DeSoto National Memorial Park. For the second year in a row, volunteers placed 800 shell bags and planted all kinds of mangroves to help stabilize the shoreline there.
Early voting now underway in Sarasota and Manatee counties. Primary day is a week from tomorrow.
And one final look at your forecast with John Scalzi.
So the take home, I think, was 3 things. One, we'll probably have this easterly wind flow for the next couple of days, giving us mostly sunny starts to the day, followed by inland showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon. We'll have a wind shift later this week that will reverse that pattern, and then all quiet in the tropics. Good news there. Back to you guys.
Is going on in Nashville after months and years of great press there.
Yes,
They've had some bad, tragic news in Nashville.
All in the last month. We'll give you an update. You're watching Good Morning Suncoast on ABC 7.